The global drug trade is a vast and complex criminal enterprise. Synthetic drugs such as fentanyl and methamphetamine have emerged as major players in this underworld. They pose a significant threat to public health and safety. The production and distribution of these narcotics are often controlled by powerful criminal organizations. These groups operate with ruthless efficiency, employing sophisticated methods to evade law enforcement. The penalties for drug trafficking are severe, reflecting the seriousness of this crime. In many countries, those caught producing, transporting, or selling illegal drugs face lengthy prison sentences. However, the lure of enormous profits continues to attract individuals and groups willing to take the risk. Law enforcement agencies around the world are engaged in a constant battle to disrupt and dismantle drug trafficking networks. They conduct complex investigations, often involving undercover agents and informants. The goal is to bring down the kingpins and dismantle their empires. Fentanyl, for example, is a synthetic opioid significantly more potent than heroin. It has been linked to a surge in overdose deaths worldwide. Methamphetamine, another highly addictive stimulant, can cause serious health problems, including heart damage, paranoia, and psychosis. The production of synthetic drugs often involves hazardous chemicals and clandestine labs, posing risks to both those involved in the trade and the surrounding communities. The fight against the synthetic drug trade requires a multi-pronged approach. By tackling both the supply and demand sides of the equation, we can hope to make progress in combating this global scourge. The synthetic drug trade is dominated by powerful criminal organizations, often referred to as cartels. These groups have vast networks of producers, traffickers, and distributors. They operate across borders, utilizing sophisticated smuggling routes and techniques. One of the most notorious cartels involved in the synthetic drug trade is the Sinaloa Cartel from Mexico. This organization, known for its ruthlessness and reach, has been implicated in the trafficking of massive quantities of fentanyl and methamphetamine into the United States. Law enforcement agencies worldwide are engaged in a relentless pursuit of these criminal organizations. They conduct high-stakes operations, often involving undercover agents, wiretaps, and raids. One such operation, known as Operation Python, targeted the Sinaloa Cartel's fentanyl trafficking network. This multinational effort resulted in the seizure of tons of fentanyl, millions of dollars in cash, and the arrest of key cartel members. These successes demonstrate the importance of international cooperation in combating transnational criminal organizations. However, the fight against these cartels is far from over. These organizations are resilient and adaptable. The use of intelligence-led policing, data analytics, and international task forces has proven effective in disrupting cartel operations. The world of drug trafficking is built on a foundation of mistrust and paranoia. Violence is an inherent part of this illicit trade. Rival cartels engage in brutal turf wars, battling for control of smuggling routes and markets. Within these organizations, betrayal is commonplace. The lure of money and power often outweighs loyalty, leading to internal conflicts and betrayals. Informants and snitches are ever-present threats, lurking in the shadows, waiting for their opportunity to strike a deal with law enforcement. The constant threat of violence casts a long shadow over the lives of those involved in the drug trade. Many live in a state of perpetual fear, knowing that their actions could have deadly consequences for themselves and their loved ones. The families of those involved in this world are often torn apart by violence, addiction, and incarceration. The human cost of the drug trade is immeasurable, leaving a trail of shattered lives and broken communities in its wake. The code of silence, known as omerta, is deeply ingrained in the drug trade. Those who dare to speak out against the cartels or cooperate with authorities risk swift and brutal retribution. Despite the risks, there are individuals who choose to cooperate with authorities. These informants provide invaluable insights into the inner workings of drug trafficking organizations, aiding law enforcement in their efforts to dismantle these criminal enterprises. The digital age has brought about new opportunities and challenges in the fight against drug trafficking. The rise of the dark web, a hidden part of the internet accessible only through specialized software, has provided a platform for the anonymous sale and purchase of illicit goods, including drugs. Online marketplaces, often referred to as darknet markets, connect buyers and sellers from around the globe. They offer a wide array of narcotics, from cannabis and cocaine to fentanyl and synthetic opioids. The anonymity provided by the dark web makes it incredibly difficult for law enforcement to track down those involved in online drug trafficking. Transactions are typically conducted using cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, which offer a degree of anonymity. This digital underground presents a significant challenge for traditional law enforcement methods. Authorities are constantly working to adapt their strategies and develop new tools to combat this evolving threat. One high-profile incident that highlighted the dangers of the dark web drug trade was the case of Silk Road. Launched in 2011, Silk Road was a notorious online marketplace that facilitated the sale of illegal drugs, weapons, and other illicit goods. The site operated for over 2 years before it was shut down by the FBI in 2013. Its founder, Ross William Ulbricht, was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. The takedown of Silk Road was a major victory for law enforcement, but it also highlighted the resilience of the dark web. The battle between law enforcement and those who seek to exploit the dark web for criminal gain is likely to continue for years to come.